Welcome to the AI Hustle Podcast, the podcast where we break down the latest in AI news, tools, and interview experts helping you hustle and do more using AI. If you've been following the podcast for a while, you'll know that over the last 6 months, I've been working on a stealth AI startup. Of the hundreds of projects I've covered, this is the one that I believe has the greatest potential. So today I'm excited to announce AIBox. AIBox is a no-code AI app building platform paired with the App Store for AI that lets you monetize your AI tools. The platform lets you build apps by linking together AI models like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and 11 Labs. Eventually will integrate with software like Gmail, Trello, and Salesforce, so you can use AI to automate every function in your organization. To get notified when we launch and be one of the first to build on the platform, you can join the waitlist at aibox.ai. The link is in the show notes. We are currently raising a seed round of funding. If you're an investor that is focused on disruptive tech, I'd love to tell you more about the platform. You can reach out to me at jaden@aibox.ai. I'll leave that email in the show notes. As the market intelligence industry is growing rapidly, it's actually projected to, I think, reach around $84 billion in revenue this year. Startups and legacy players are both kind of racing to innovate. And I've actually spoken to a number of different market intelligence platforms, and I see a lot of synergy, especially once you start involving AI in the space. So AlphaSense is a New York-based startup that provides a bunch of different cutting-edge solutions in this space. It's announced, of course, like I mentioned, this $150 million Series E funding round, and they're doing this to essentially double down on its expansion efforts. So the round really kind of catapults AlphaSense's valuation to about $2.5 billion, and it is led by Bond with participation from Capital G, which is Alphabet's investment arm focused on larger capital outlays. They also have Viking Global Investors, Goldman Sachs, and a new investor, which is BAM Elevate. The fundraising comes at a time when securing capital and strong valuations is increasingly challenging, except it would appear for AI startups. But even for startups that have really promising technologies, this is a bit of a downturn right now in the markets. So AlphaSense has already gained attention from some of the biggest names in business. They have over 4,000 enterprise customers. The startup serves a wide spectrum of the economy, including a significant portion of the S&P 500, major global banks, consultancies, and tech giants like Google and Microsoft. So the company's strong customer base and I think the substantial figure of this kind of latest funding round underscore its prominence in an ever-evolving industry. The company's fundraising journey hasn't been without bumps, though. I'll say, while AlphaSense has recently, amassed, I think, around $325 million over the last 15 months via a Series D round, the Series E announcement came after a 3-month delay. So originally this was slated for release in June, and the announcement was kind of pushed back for undisclosed reasons, but I'm assuming maybe the markets weren't favorable or they had some sort of internal issues at the company. And maybe they're waiting to, push out some new products that would make them more exciting and attractive to investors. So what really sets AlphaSense apart in, of course, a sea of market intelligence platforms, I've spoken with a number of them, is really it's more than just a data aggregator. So the platform combines data crawling capabilities with insight extraction. So its huge coverage extends to around 10,000 sources of information. So this is ranging from public and private content to data published by research firms, governmental bodies, and competitors. So AlphaSense has also focused on essentially enriching its financial insights through some strategic acquisitions, such as Stream, which is a platform that transcribes and catalogs expert interviews, and Sentio, which is targeted at investment managers. So the startup is notably leveraging machine learning and natural language processing to convert raw data into digestible narratives and graphics. And according to Jack Coco, who is the founder and CEO of AlphaSense, the platform's value lies in its ability to, quote, focus on the search for unstructured information and provide structure to it. So I think right now the rise of generative AI platforms like, of course, ChatGPT pose a question mark for AlphaSense's future. When asked about the impact, Coco, conceded that ChatGPT gives, quote, somewhat random results and doesn't understand the business or commercial standpoint. However, he was quick to highlight AlphaSense's competitive advantages, saying, quote, we are training our own large language models and we are seeing better performance that way. But he also kind of issued a caveat noting that, keeping pace with advancements is critical for the startup's long-term success. So when we kind of look at, future proofing market intelligence, what that's going to look like for them and for perhaps others, right? I think AlphaSense appears to be taking sort of a multi-pronged approach to maintaining its edge. I think they're pretty well aware the landscape should definitely change in as little as a year. So as Jay Simmons, who's a general partner at Bondstead, quote, with the ability to deliver the right insights and data to help businesses confidently make everyday strategic decisions, AlphaSense struck us as a category creator emerging into one of those iconic companies that significantly advances how the business would work. So I think in an industry where change is, the only constant, especially everything we're seeing in AI today, AlphaSense is definitely kind of banking on its technology. They're also, banking on their client relationships. And now I think they have a fairly sizable war chest, which they're hoping to use to stay ahead of the curve. All of this being said, though, I really do think that they will face a very significant competition out of OpenAI and ChatGPT, and not necessarily just a vanilla ChatGPT tool, for example. But I also think that, the ability that, OpenAI gives to other developers to use their platform as an API. Of course, AlphaSense is trying to build their own natural language processing and their own AI models and whatnot. But I think there's going to be a lot of platforms that leverage just ChatGPT and try to find ways to essentially get some of the same data gathering and just pair it up with ChatGPT, and AlphaSense is going to have a little bit of competition in this regard. Now, they do have a lot of money. They've just raised a lot of funds, so it's going to be interesting to follow them and see, how far ahead they're able to stay in front of the curve. But definitely a company that's raised a lot of money and one that we'll be following in the future. If you are looking for an innovative and creative community of people using ChatGPT, you need to join our ChatGPT creators community. I'll drop a link in the description to this podcast. We'd love to see you there, where we share tips and tricks of what is working in ChatGPT. It's a lot easier than a podcast, as you can see screenshots, you can share and comment on things that are currently working. So if this sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the comment. We'd love to have you in the community. Thanks for joining me on the OpenAI podcast. It would mean the world to me if you would rate this podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Hustle podcast. If you could do us a massive favor, we would really, really appreciate it if you could leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. This helps people find the podcast. It helps people know this is a good place to go. And we would really, really appreciate it, as it helps us continue to bring on incredible guests and share incredible content for you to listen to.